Today we'll be going over the best hitting tips of 2024 for MLB The Show. So we're going to start it off with going over the settings, then we'll go into some custom practice, and then I'll talk about the approach. So basically we start out with the gameplay style is just competitive. I recommend starting with all-star difficulty for hitting and pitching, because that'll get you around 400 to 600 in ranked, and once you start there and get the hang of it, then you can move up to Hall of Fame. So moving on to more of our controls. For base running, I do analog select. So basically you move your stick towards the runner, and then you click whatever button you want them to run to. Hitting interface, this is very important. You definitely want to have it on zone. That's what all the top players play on. Directional is just way too hard to hit, and it's almost more about luck. PCI anchor. So this is basically where you can start your PCI in any corner of the box. And I have it on resets after the game, so I only have to do it once, and then it's set for the whole game. So I like to keep the PCI anchor dots on. Usually I'd still have it in the middle, but just in case a pitcher is starting off every at bat with like high and fastballs, then I'll set it up for that. PCI, you definitely want to have this on. It basically shows you how well you're hitting the ball, how close you are to the barrel. And then for PCI center, I use the bat. The bat is something that was introduced in MLB The Show 23. I think it just gives me a more accurate visual of where the barrel is. And then I have the inner and outer like circles off because I want to have like the best visual, the best sight, so I keep these off so it's not really distracting. For PCI color, we just keep it at yellow because that's the OG. For PCI transparency, I recommend keeping this somewhere around 50%, 50 to 70%, just so that you can see the PCI, but it's not too bold where it kind of gets in the way and is distracting. And then we don't want it to fade out. Guess pitch, we have that off, and vibration is definitely more of a preference. I like to have the vibration on, so when I get a perfect, it just feels that much better. For the camera, I suggest you go into custom practice and just see whichever one feels comfortable, switch it around, and then just take a couple pitches, see what looks the best to you. And one underrated thing I think is having the pitching view the same as your hitting view. So I have it strikes on high for both, so that when I am pitching, I can still get like my eyes will recognize the pitches coming in. I don't have to change in between innings. So I think that's kind of underrated, what most people don't do. And then in play view, I like to keep it at dynamic. That's kind of what it normally is. I know some people like high to kind of see how far back the outfielder is to see if the ball is going to drop, but with dynamic, I think it kind of gets the best visuals for me. All right, so now we're going to go into custom practice. So in my opinion, I think the best pitcher to go with is to hit off of it is Ohtani, because he throws hard. He'll get up to 100. He kind of has the best pitch mix. And then I like to use the AL All-Star, so I'm getting a good hitter every time because we wanna get those barrels and hit them out. But you can also use someone on your team that you need to work with. And then for the stadium, I like to go Shield Woods because of the elevation, and it's more hitter friendly. So you can really see if you're getting the ball well, and it'll go pretty far. And then for this field, I just do regular clear skies 1 p.m. But some fields, like the Angels Stadium, I believe, if they have a tall right-handed pitcher, their release point can kind of be in like the sun and the glare. So I suggest turning it to nighttime or playing at a different stadium. All right, so what we're going to do is, to start off, I like to just turn it only on to fastballs. And then we're just going to start just fastballs down the middle. So for the first couple, we can take a couple pitches, just kind of get the sense of the speed and everything. So yeah, with the anchor dots, you can start your PCI hold it at any point. So normally I keep it right down the middle, but if a pitcher's throwing up and in all the time, then you can anchor it to the up and in, so then you don't have to move as far. It kind of depends on A, your preference, and B, kind of how the pitcher is pitching. First, you want to work on the timing. Timing is basically the most important thing. You see right there. As long as the timing's perfect, the PCI, those will come. But even if your PCI is off, but your timing is good, you can still get some lucky home runs every once in a while. So I'll do like 5 to 10 pitches of just fastballs right down the middle. Get some perfects. As long as the timing's somewhere in that good range. I'm not really worrying about the PCI too much right now. Oh my god, that was absolutely nuked. Alright, so once we get comfortable with our timing on fastballs, then we're going to work on pitch, like decision making, recognizing pitches. So I'd say most pitchers have a slider, so we're going to go just fastball and then an off-speed pitch. And we're going to keep the pitch location on just the middle. And this drill is just to work on like pitch recognition. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking any slider we get, and then we're going to be swinging at any fastball we get. So we're just working on our fastball timing, because as I'll get into it later in this video, some about our approach, but we want to be on time for the fastball. So any slider we see, we're going to take, and any fastball we see, we're just going to hammer it. So just recognizing pitches. Start off with just 2 pitches, nice and easy. Wait for the fastball to come. See, I haven't gotten it, so we're just not going to swing. So yeah, we get our fastball. Look at that, perfect. We're going to do the same thing now, but we're just going to go all strikes. And then same thing, we're just going to be swinging at fastballs, and then we're going to be leaving the sliders. So what I like to do is just anything anywhere in the middle of the zone, any fastballs in the middle, we're going to be swinging at. Anything borderline, we're going to leave, because we're basically taking this as if we're ahead in the count. So yeah, we're going to leave the sliders, and then wait for our fastball to come, and then be on time for the fastball. So yeah, this drill will definitely help you recognize pitch selection. Trying to lead the sliders. Usually they throw sliders out of the zone, and the fastballs will be in the zone. So see, they're just a little early. If I'm ahead in the count, I kind of want to stay in this box of where the anchors are. Maybe a little outside, but anything borderline, just kind of leave it. So anything that's like middle, we'll swing at fastball or slider. Sitting on the fastball, so we don't get beat by the fastball, just like that. And then we can have time to adjust to the off-speed, slower pitch. So we sit on the slider. We were sitting on the fastball, reacted to the slider. Alright, so now what I like to do is I like to just one pitch at a time, just allow them to throw that pitch, and then Otani has all 5 pitches, which is kind of a lot. And then we're just going to work on strikes. So most of the pitches that we should see are strikes. But if there are certain pitches that you can't hit, let's say you can't hit inside fastballs, you're just getting jammed all the time, then you can just work on all the inside fastballs. And then you would obviously turn these down and then just work on fastballs. So now we could just go to clear, which kind of resets everything and then allows it to throw anywhere. So yeah, now we're going to just go fastball slider. We're going to go fastball slider, but it's going to be anywhere, so it could be balls. So now we're just kind of working on our discipline and still being on time. So this would be more like 0-0, just starting out. Maybe 0-1, where you can swing at either pitch, but you want it to be a strike. Once you get comfortable seeing these pitches, taking the balls, being on time for whatever pitch you're sitting on, then you can kind of move on to, yeah, okay, we're seeing it pretty well. Then you can move on to more of a two-strike approach. So basically, we'll turn on all the junk that Otani's got, and we're gonna have it thrown anywhere. Um, and this is basically two strikes, so anything close we're fouling off, but still you want to be sitting on the fastball. Don't want to get beat by a fastball. If you see any breaker, um, just try to leave it down. That was pretty borderline. Sometimes it'll be called, sometimes it won't be. So the goal right here is just to put the ball in play. We don't really want to swing and miss. Foul balls are okay, but just try not to get beat, and then leave the ones that are way out, way out. But if it's anything close, then you want to swing. And look at that. The timing was good. PCI was off, and that was gone. So that just shows you that timing is very, very important. That is kind of how I would go about practicing. If you don't have any specific pitches that you are working on, then just kind of start with that. If you're struggling with certain pitches, then just come in and focus on that. So this is what I would do just kind of before I get going playing on online game modes. Just kind of work with a tough pitcher, challenge yourself, so that when you're in the game, it seems a lot easier. So now for like the approach tips, I'm not gonna be swinging here, but basically, you want to be very patient. It's very hard to do, especially in video games where you just want to swing at every pitch that you see. You want to hit a home run, but at the end of the day, you can't hit a home run on every pitch. You have to get a pitch inside the strike zone, one that you're kind of looking for. Otherwise, you're just going to have weak outs. So what I like to do is I like to always sit on fastball because that's going to be the fastest pitch. And then we're adjusting. We're going to see the pattern that the opponent pitches throughout the game. So over the course of the game, you should become better at hitting because you're going to know where they're going to be throwing, what they're going to throw. If there's someone that spikes curveballs all the time, if you see that curveball jump out of the hand, then we're just automatically taking it. And then when it's 0-0, 1-0, 0-1, then I like to look for pitches that are within these anchor dots here. So somewhere in there, anything outside of this is kind of going to be borderline. So we kind of want to leave that because a lot of these pitchers will just throw borderline balls, and it's really hard to do damage with those pitches. So if we get ahead in the count 2-0, then I'm still looking inside this small box, but I'm looking for more pitch-specific, speed-specific pitches. So if that's slow curveball splitter, just hung, or if I want to sit on like a fastball cutter or a sinker, because those are kind of the faster pitches. And then when you got two strikes, we're swinging. With two strikes, we're going to be expanding the zone. We still stay on fastball because I find that it's easier to sit on their fastest pitch. And then if it's not that fastball, then you can still have time to adjust and sit on that pitch. But if we're sitting slider and then we get fastball, we're kind of screwed on any fastball because we're already way too late. Especially if it's someone throwing 102, 103, there's just no chance. So yeah, I'd say the main takeaways from this video are obviously looking at the settings. The settings are very important. Just kind of getting the camera and the PCI that you feel is most comfortable for you. Help you with your visual. And the approach. I think the approach is the number one thing. It's kind of going to be dependent on how the other pitcher is pitching. But I think to start the game, you should all have the same approach. Being very patient, letting the pitch come to you. And if he's behind the count, he's going to want to throw a lot more strikes. And that's when you're going to be getting your fastballs that you can hit out of the park. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions about anything, leave it down in the comments. I will be starting more of a how-to series on this channel. I think we're going to do how to finish programs fast, how to get stubs, how to level up fast. Definitely come and subscribe because there's going to be a lot of good content coming before they release MLB The Show 24. So thank you for watching.